Now, now, now it feels like Monday. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to my nightmare. How are you all? How was your week? I hope your week was strong. Oh, hello, good sir. Hi. That's called comedic timing. And that is your lesson for today. I hope you wrote that down. Write that down. Write that down. Oh, we have a few things to talk about this week. Pizza Giraffe's here. You see, I was gonna wait for Pizza Giraffe because he had to get things rolling, and I just got just a little bit ahead of him. But my spider senses, which are the only senses I have, I lost my my sense of taste in a fire in 1968. But I was going to wait because we needed him to kick it off. He's here. Thank goodness. Thank you for showing up, Pizza Giraffe. So who's here? Who's here? Mark, Hans, Mike, Hans, Mike, Mark, Pizza Giraffe, Ray Kelly, and Phil. Good evening, everybody. Everybody, I'm happy to chat with you, and I feel like I've set Mike Hughes off on a dangerous, pleasureless path. And I need to remedy that right now, off the top, right out the gate. This book was a DNF for me. I I only made it 42 pages in. It came on pretty strong, and I liked it at first. And then there were some things that popped up. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Whatever. He's setting the stage. But damn it, 42 pages into it, and those things I could tell were here for the long haul, and I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I can't do this. I thought about emailing Kevin Lucia and saying, hey man, I know you gave me this arc for an honest review, but I don't think I have anything super positive to say about it. So I will say I wasn't crazy about Marla, right? But I think this book has a flaw in it that goes deeper than anything. Marla was still telling a story, and it was a pretty interesting one, and I liked it. This basically, if you are pining for the days of COVID, when the world was split between vaxxers and anti-vaxxers, if you're pining for those days of remote education and people screaming at you that you're killing grandma by not wearing a mask, if those days were sacred to you, you're going to love this book. You will be like, yes, finally a book that understands how close we were to mass extinction. And there you go. And you will have personally COVID is too close, right? And I think maybe in a decade or two, people will want to read back and say, oh, is that what was going on then? Oh, that's kind of like, it's cool to get notes from ground zero, right, of a pandemic. It's cool that we didn't go through it, but there's writing, it got into the fiction, and some author was trying to capture what it would feel like to be in the pandemic and how that affected the world and education and all that stuff. And it might have some interesting nostalgia, right? Or not historical value, but for me, it's just like, no, I just lived through this shit, right? I'm not doing it. And then I don't know if it's intentional, if it's ironic or what, but the monster in the book is a mask. I don't know if you guys were here 2 years ago, but masks were a big deal, right? And the monster is a mask. So people are going to wear a mask whether they want to or not in this book, apparently. So that to me, it's just one of the things. Like, I would say if you handle the COVID stuff and you can get a flavor for, oh my god, oh yeah, because of remote education kids didn't go to school, oh yeah, like, yeah, you just hearken to it and you make it a part of the condition of the story and the places. But it's just like, oh my god, he keeps going on about, yes, we get it, just set the stage and get to the story. But unless your book is why you should have worn masks, other than, I don't know. So I had to tap out. I had to tap out. Maybe it turns a corner. Maybe it gets to something that makes a point instead of this "I told you so" fantasy of, I don't know. The less I say, the better. I mean, that's like a golden rule that I think producer Jill says. Like, that'd be one thing that if I got tattooed on my body, she'd be like, okay, that's fine. Get that little saying. The less you say, the better, like on your forearm, so you can reference it. Like, maybe if you're out at the grocery store buying groceries, maybe if you're applying for a home loan or getting audited by the IRS, just look at that little thing on your arm. So, Mike, you might like it, you might dig it. It's just, it's a miss for me. And yes, there were some things. There's a golden rule to, okay, and I know what you're going to say, Jeff. You're not an author. You've not written anything, but I've been to many writing workshops, and there is a golden rule. It's show, don't tell. Now, that doesn't apply to just movies. It applies to writing. It applies to creating a good book. Show it, don't tell it. Don't tell me what to think. Because the book would be really easy, right? Writing a book would just be like, Stephen was horrified. This thing was the worst thing he ever saw in his life. It scared him a lot. It was like the scariest thing ever. Oh, wow. Well, this book is really scary because it's telling me this scary thing happened, instead of saying, I'm not going to try to write a book right here on the spot, but, he turned around and he saw a dead relative or somebody hit in a DUI accident coming back from the grave to haunt him with guilt, horror, whatever. Those are the things that kind of build the dread, not just telling me I should be afraid. So there's a lot of telling and not showing and other things that just nah. So, at least you are honest and you told him you would be. Yes. And I just did a DNF on Goodreads. I didn't even give a review. And I was like, maybe I should. I don't know. I feel bad. But I felt worse, actually, because I was reading it and I'm like, this started out really good, and 42 pages is really just, I'm like, can you just at least go 50? But I couldn't do it. So, masks do suck. They do. Hello, I have Manos. Good to see you. Sounds like I'll pass. And again, now keep in mind, Mike, I was met on Marla and you loved it. So, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to turn anybody off of a book that might be a hit for you. Speaking of disappointments, Jeff, I went to order 4 books from VEJ's around $45 at 70% off, but they wanted 25 shipping via media mail, which should be closer to 10. Canceled the order. Okay, so you're ordering 4 books. Now, the same thing happened to me. You're ordering 4 books, and I think what they're doing is bundling them all together instead of it, because I don't think media mail would cover a stack of 4 books in the same price range of $5. So I don't know, but the same thing happened to me. But I thought, you know what? It was $92 off, and I got some really great books. So I went for it anyway. But I hear you. I hear you. Let's. Oh, let me get some. Let me get some speaker fluid. Duff bucket. What do you got? Yeah, Duff bucket. Got to get up to get down. Um, got to get up to get down. Medium ale will vary by weight, but $25 sounds like a lot. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think I paid around 23 bucks for shipping. And they do a good job. Yeah, I had the same thing with VJ. Ordered 6 books and shipping was 35. But one book got marked down to like $3. So screw it. Yeah. And they're good people and et cetera and so on. Happy to support them. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I send out a lot of packages. Medium mail for 4 books is $12 max. Okay. Yeah. I'm not their representative. I just know what I know. So I only know my experience. I started a great one last night. Nick Roberts, West Virginia author, The Exorcist House, 7% done and loving it. Get to meet him tomorrow. So I wanted to finish it. Yeah, I thought I saw your post around the Facebooks about that, wanting to finish the book. Um, yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. West Virginia. Do you think West Virginia is ever going to make up with Virginia? Like, going to get together and just be like one mega state? I don't know if that'll happen. Mitch ditched the live stream today. He kind of did, but that's okay. We can't all be here. I might take 1 week off and just like turn it on so you guys could chat, and I won't interrupt. No way. You don't want them damn Virginians. I'm reading Boy's Life, kind of a struggle for me. Hope it gets better. Really? Yeah, I don't really remember Boy's Life. I don't remember it. I know I've either read that or Gone South, but I don't remember either one. I can't definitively point to it, but I will read it. I killed a lot of brain cells, man. Killed a lot. So this is what I'm reading now. This is an arc. This is Midas by Tyler Jones. I am 56 pages into it. I love this book. I'm afraid to say that now, right? Because I'm going to just screw myself. But at least Tyler Jones is doing a hell of a lot of showing. And he's writing a very fascinating story. It takes place in 1859. And you know what? If you tell me there's a book about an orphanage in the Pennsylvania Valley way back when, and I forgot what year it took place. Sorry, Philip. I almost call him Phil. Sorry, Philip. But if there's an orphanage, it's historical, and I'm like, if you told me those things, I would be like, okay, yeah, I don't really want to read about anything that goes back in time. Read it, read Boys in the Valley, adored that book, loved it. Same thing with this. If you told me, well, it's 1859, and actually, I don't even know what state they're in, or if it's a state. A lot of places weren't even states. And somebody is found something, and it's set in that time, and man, it's rocking. I love it. Now I don't know where it goes, but there's a whole lot of really great stuff in here. And I will say, yes, it is wonderfully written, and it's slow, right? If you're a fan, like I would compare it to The Witch. If you've seen that movie, there's a whole different cadence to that sort of film, and you kind of fall into it, and you go with it, and you're rewarded. And the same thing happens here. It's very quiet. This guy was a reverend, and he lost his son. His son died, and they're dealing with the grief and the loss, and he finds something in the woods, and it's sort of changing his life. It's changing him in this small town he's in. Very cool. I'm very excited to see where this is going. I was not looking forward to opening up the horror at Pleasant Brook. You know, it's like that's one of those things when a book doesn't, when you connect with a book, you don't look forward to sitting down with it. But not in this case. I find myself, if I have extra time in the morning or right before I go to bed, very much looking forward to reading it every time I open it. So excellent stuff so far. This book, the reason I top lined TBR this book is because I think Paul Miller's taking orders for it in a couple weeks. So mid June, and it's going to be released in October. So I put that on the top, and because I was going to soothe myself by reading Boys in the Valley, and I was going to read that to get ready for Philip's tour, and have it fresh in my mind, take notes, so I have some really interesting things to talk about when I go in August. But this is like more urgent. Like this is going to be released very soon, so I'd like to have my opinion out there for you all ahead of time. So far, it's great, and um, reading Boys in the Valley then it'll be fresher in my mind. So this, then Boys in the Valley. So that's where I'm at. Coming up for pre-order soon, I think. Yes, yes. Um, I love McCammon's style, but the story is dragging for me. It's like an autobiography, isn't it? It's like oh, hold up. All right, I bumped something. Oh hell, Jeff, I want that one. Midas? Midas by Tyler Jones. So I will say, man, that Philip Fracassi and Josh Malerman, two authors that are definite must-read authors for me, and Sarah Pinborough. Those were so the first time I ever read any of those authors, it was via Earthling. So Earthling's bringing. That's one thing I love about Earthling. Paul Miller's insisting on doing the first worldwide editions of his books, and he's picking authors that I might not have ever read before. So it can be. I mean, I'll admit it that I read One Who Was With Me by Conrad Williams, an advanced review copy, and that wasn't good. That was a DNF for me. I don't know what that one was, and I wanted to like it, but in the end, that one was a chore. I don't know how far I got through it, but it was definitely a chore. I didn't finish it though, but these things happen. I did skim, so it sets up this sort of mystery, and I figured it out before I got to the end, before I did not finish, and then I read ahead, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to finish this, but maybe I'll leave a review. And then I read how it paid out at the end, and I'm like, oh man, it was pretty predictable and not at all compelling. Stephen King could make a Bigfoot horror book. He could, but if you want a Bigfoot horror book, I think Dweller would be a good one. Am I right, Ron? Am I right? Ron recommends that book to me all the time. Do you have the tour places dates? I did do a post, Eye of Manos. You should be able to find it. I don't know. I don't know where they go, but if you go to my channel, let me see. I should be able to share my screen, but I'm a noob at everything, man. If you go to my channel, you'll have the banner and it'll say the Jeff word, and then under the tabs it says home, videos, shorts, live, playlists, and community. Click on the community tab, and you'll see the most recent post I made was the tour dates. They're split between two images because it wouldn't all fit on one image. So I wanted to keep them all there, but they're there. So you just go to my page, my channel page, and under the community tab, and you'll see all of them. I just realized he's going to be at Book People. Somebody recommended Book People to me for an independent bookstore to buy from. And I'll say, because VJ's is going under or going out or whatever they're doing. Um, so I've been looking for independent bookstores, but I remember Powell's. I ordered from them a couple of times. I got some Chuck Palahniuk books, and then somebody said Book People. So I would treat this tour date stop as a great place to start if you're looking to buy from independent bookstores. And that's an idea I just had. Sometimes I get ideas. Hey, Howie's here. Good to see you, Howie. Patty, hi, Patty. Dweller, you are spot on, Jeff. I read Deathless. I loved Deathless. I was meh on Pressure, but I think after reading Deathless, I liked Pressure more. Um, and that oh yeah, and then I got Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I'll be reading that. Um, from Jeff Strand. Devolution by Max Brooks is a good Bigfoot book. Yes, great point, man. That is a great point, John, because I wanted to get that one. Max Brooks is World War Z is a fantastic book. Brilliant book. Just super smart. It's great. And then I meant to read Devolution, but I couldn't get a cheap copy of it. And I wasn't gonna go all out, I'm just looking to read it, but my TBR is what it is. Hey, Baron, good to see you, Baron. Baron's trying to help me out on this Discord stuff, and I've been just horrible at it. So patience. If any of you are going to Discord to connect and chat, just realize that old dog, new tricks. So I says to the calendar, I says, your days are numbered. Calendar. All right. So that damn cat gets me every week. I was ready to throw a pot of water out my window. Yeah, she's acting up again. She cooled it for a while. Now she's screaming. Well, our other cat's name is Milo. And I swear to God, she's screaming Milo. Just try to buy a book from VJ and it says retire 70 is an invalid coupon code. So they do have books that don't allow the coupon. They said it's ending soon. I just got a thing from them, but I might have deleted it. I'm always trying to keep my inbox fresh and clean, Just keep your inbox fresh. And so I'm a little quick maybe sometimes because I got what I wanted from VJ for that sale, and no, because it'll be endless. I can't be endless anymore. Join Jeff's Discord. Yeah, Jeff should join Jeff's Discord in a meaningful way. I really need to. Any pre-order is not allowed with that code. Oh, okay. I got a signed Devolution from VJ Books. 70% off. I didn't even think of that at the time. Damn. Didn't even think of it at the time. The reason why I kept almost buying it when I lived back in Chicago, I was right by Half Price Books, and they had one, and it was not marked down. It actually didn't have a sticker on it. And so I brought it up to the counter. I'm like, hey, this doesn't have a price on it. It can't be the cover price. They're like, no, it's not. And they came back with like $18. I'm like, okay, that's practically cover price. Thank you. And I'll put this back on the shelf for you. Do I gotta fill out a 1099? Do I work here now? Loser. So I put it back on the shelf. And then every time I went back, sure enough, that book was sitting there. I'm like, well, when they get right with the price, and they never did. And then I moved. That was a straw, actually. I wasn't looking for a house. And then I'm like, can't get that Devolution for a cheaper price. I'm out of here. That VJ order I tried to place was just a couple hours ago, so coupon is still valid. Okay, probably was a pre-order, a sale book, or a book plate. Okay. Ending Wednesday. Okay, thank you, Mark. Coupon doesn't work on any of those. Okay. 2013. Yeah. Devolution. Um, so yes, I will try to get this done by whenever it's up for pre-order. Um, I should know when it's up for pre-order. Let me see. Earthling, Paul Miller, Earthling. You know how it is. All right. Well, whatever. I'm not going to dig through my email right now. I just told you it was fresh and clean, and now I'm telling you it's cluttered. I'm a complicated guy. I'm a walking contradiction. Okay, so did I showed this in the book hall, but I saw Mike got it. I don't know if anybody read it yet. This is on my TBR. I can't wait to read it. How the Skin Sheds by Chadster Lutsky. So go get it. It's a splatter western. I said this in the book haul video. Hap and Leonard meets Leon the Professional. Do you remember that? The Leon the Professional, the French guy. He's like in a hitman. I don't know. He's the professional. And Hap and Leonard meets Leon the Professional chasing down Ed Gein. It's not Gein. You might have seen Ed Gein's name and thought it was Ed Gein. Nope. Nope. Fun fact, people thought Psycho was based on Ed Gein because when Robert Bloch wrote it, he lived not far. He lived about 40 minutes away from Ed Gein's farmhouse in Plainfield, Wisconsin. And then he writes a book about a guy with mommy issues who murders folks, and they're like, "Oh, that book's based on Ed Gein." Not at all. Well, not he's not admitting it was, but he said that he what? Oh, he threw a line in at the end about Ed Gein because he's like, "Hey, after I wrote it and it was all done, and then I saw this guy made the news, I'm like, wow, that sounds crazy. I can't believe the coincidence. I'll make a nod to that guy in my book." And so he did. Um, brilliant book. Brilliant book. Do you know Ed Gein only killed 2 people? Only. It was important to those 2 people and their families. So you don't have to be flippant about it. But Ed Gein was mostly a grave robber, and then he ran out of corpses in the graveyard that fit his preference. So he had to go make corpses. He only made 2 of them. Still, it was still tragic for those 2 people and their families. Please do not show this video to anybody related to that case. I really don't want the heat, being a social media influencer and all that. I really don't want to be bringing the heat down on me over Ed Gein. 2 people. So what do we got here? Yes, I got it today. Up next for me. Good. Love the dedication. Yeah, Mike shared that dedication on his Facebook. I'll read it to you in my dulcet tones. Dedicated to Joe R. Lansdale, who taught me to write as if I'm my own genre, dipping a toe into whatever I like, to pay no mind to pigeonhole and trends, to mix horrifying with the humorous, to hold strong to my punk ethics, to shed one literary skin and be comfortable in the next. It's a great little piece of writing all on its own. I could see why our friend here, Mike Hughes, dug it because it is a hell of a dedication. Joe Lansdale is a hell of an author. That's why I shelve Chad Lutsky right next to Joe Lansdale. Keep that fire burning, So yeah, that is a great dedication. And I can't wait to read it. Chad Lutsky, man. Chad Lutsky needs an Earthling book. Earthling. I mean, come on. What else? Yeah. So anyway, speaking of Earthling, did you all see on my Jeff Word Facebook page thing that, excuse me, Ashley Lawrence is doing an auction for her Hollywood memorabilia. And in her lot are two Earthling editions of this book, The Hellbound Heart by your boy Clive Barker. She's auctioning the trade, the signed, numbered, and the advanced review copy, in addition to a lettered edition. So that's pretty cool. But her numbered edition, now I'm going to share this. Her numbered edition is signed by Nicholas Vince, Simon Bamford, Barbie Wild, Doug Bradley, Christopher Young, and herself. And I think she got the idea from me. Okay, I don't know. I can't verify. I can neither confirm nor disconfirm. But I met Ashley Lawrence at Days of the Dead in Chicago. She came there, and three of the Cenobites were there: Barbie Wild, Nicholas Vince, and Simon Bamford. Doug Bradley was absent. So those three Cenobites and Ashley Lawrence, and I brought this book, and I says to them, I says, "Hey, I'd like you to sign. Maybe could you do that?" I'm seeing like a black dot. Either I'm going blind or I'm beset by ghouls. I don't know what that was. But this is probably going to go into my medical history, so I'm going to have to save this. Flag this for future clipping for my doctor. So I went and I met them there, and I probably showed you this before. This is a PC copy I got off the Evil Bay, and it's signed by Clive Barker. I call him Clive. That's how we are. And then I got Simon Bamford, Nicholas Vince, and Barbie Wild to sign. A lot of people won't do that because they're like, they didn't write the book, doofus. They were in the movie. And that is true, right? But it's my book. So, and I was at the convention, and this is quality paper. So I went and got them to sign. Now, even though this is different media, so I didn't bring a VHS tape for them to sign. I brought the book, and they didn't write the book. We've just covered that. But even by those standards, it was pretty much not acceptable for me to get Barbie Wild in here because she didn't play in the first movie that's based on this book. She was the female Cenobite in Hellbound Hellraiser 2. So I took liberties. I took a liberty with the stretch of that. And then I also got Ashley Lawrence to sign on her introduction. Big, huge thing. So she's auctioning a book just like this. And the Cenobite actors did the same doodles in that. I'm like, did you get the idea from me, Ashley? Did you? Because I'd like credit. I would like credit for that. To give her that idea. Because that's a pretty awesome idea. So now I'm going to get Doug Bradley to sign this in January. He's coming to Days of the Dead Atlanta, and then this book will be complete. I didn't get Christopher Young. He did the score for the movie. Really haunting, wonderful, awesome music for Hellraiser. But I probably wouldn't, if I ever encountered him and I had the book, like, I carry this book with me everywhere in my pocket. My bib overalls. I usually wear bib overall. Got a bottle of vodka in one pocket and my Hellbound Heart in the other. And I'm always bumping into the actors from the movie and the director. And, Clive Barker was the director. So we're kind of like that. Is that drawing in all the copies or just that one? So the Clive Barker drawing, it's in all the numbered editions. It's probably in a lettered edition too. It's not an original drawing if you're talking about the Clive Barker one. It's not in the trade edition. And this is a really impossible book to find on Evil Bay now. I got it for a steal. compared to what it's going for now. If you can find it, it's super expensive. His copy, his lettered edition's amazing. And so is Scarlet Gospels, so is Weave World. I mean, Paul Miller knocks it out of the park. I still have Jeff's Cenobites in my library. My wife hates them. Yes, John. John bought, I sold on eBay my Simon Bamford Butterball and Nicholas Vince Chatterer Cenobites. I bought the models, the model kit, and I put them together and I painted them. And I really, I put my heart and soul into that. I kind of thought after I assembled them, a portal to hell would open. Kind of did. I got a job on South Water Market shortly after, so that's kind of like a portal to hell. And I was a Teamster, so for 11 years. I think if I ever get convicted of anything, like heinous, where they give me like a really crazy sentence, I could get time off because I could say, well, I served 11 years as a Teamster. Oh, sorry. Well, instead of going to jail, we'll give you a cruise, send me on a Disney ship or a celebrity cruise. I heard they had better food. I will say, you didn't think you're getting a review of a cruise on this channel ever or wanted it. But Disney cruises, the food, no. Even in the restaurants you have to pay to get into on the ship because they got to feed you on the ship. It comes with the ticket. Then they have restaurants, that's how Jill says it, that you pay to go into. And even there, the food was like, okay, how long did you preheat this in the microwave for? Go catch me a fish. We're on the ocean. So yes, so John has them. I'm sorry your wife is hurt. I'm sorry my art is causing tensions, they're very noisy Cenobites. I think I did do a pinhead one, and I think I destroyed that. I think I used it for like a BB gun target. Yeah, I know. Immature. Not the best use of my talents. Okay. So anyway, that Ashley Lawrence auction is tomorrow, right? Is today? What's today? What is it? Day of the week? It's it's tomorrow, June 6th in LA. That live auction is happening. I don't know if you need to be in LA. I don't know. Maybe Philip Fracassi could go and make bids for you. Hey now, hello, David Melchowski. Good to see you. I'm glad. What song we got? Midnight Cowboy, I think. You'll shoot your Cenobite's eye out. Yeah, it's tricky shooting around them pins, I honestly don't know if that's what I did with it. I just don't have it anymore. I did buy 2 other model kits. I think I ended up selling them unassembled for a pretty penny, I must add. One was the female Cenobite from the first Hellraiser, not Barbie Wild. So, had I had my Cenobites, I might have gotten them signed by Simon Bamford and Nicholas Vince, but that wasn't to be. So, yes, Centipede Press. I know Jason Geis is not here. I'm gonna have to mark him tardy. You get 5 a year, tardies, and but that Centipede Press thing. Philip's here. Hey, Philip. Philip just came back home. Personal family trip, and so I'm glad you're here. I'm wearing the Alter shirt. So show Philip Fracassi some support. Alter Publishing. Go buy Don't Let Them Get You Down. Excellent book. Excellent book. So yes, he's about to see you. He's about to go around the world or at least most of Western civilization, US and England, we're like England's angry kid that said, "Screw you, Dad. All I wanted was a Pepsi." King George was like, "I'm gonna kill you," and we're like, "Screw you, man. I'm 18 now." Like that whole thing. But now we're okay with them. I don't know, unless Philip's going over there to wreak havoc. Speaking of boys' life, that McCammon My Creations video was freaking awesome. It was amazing. I was worried that when Robert McCammon, when I realized it was going to be a hip hop rap video, I'm like, oh man, this could get bad. And it worked. It worked. It was wild. But really, the thing that's most shocking isn't seeing Robert McCammon rap. When I went to see him at the Alabama Booksmith, if you said, hey, 3 fun facts about Robert McCammon. He killed a British soldier in the Revolutionary War. He did a rap song and he sank the Titanic. I would have said, oh, I don't think he sank the Titanic. One's true and 2 false or whatever. No, I never would guess that he had done a rap song, but there it was. Jason's here. Jason, he shows up just as I'm about to talk about Centipede Press. But yes, the most interesting thing about that rap video was that it's not Baal. Robert McCammon wrote a book, and the title is Baal, and it's Baal. He kept saying Baal. I don't know if that's a Southern accent but I always said Baal, like bowel movement, Baal. That's funny because that's how my mom says towel. Towel. Give me a towel. It's a towel, mother. It's a towel. But she also says milk. Grab that towel and wipe up that milk. And then wash the towel. Yeah. It's a whole routine I'm working on for my stand-up. I still have my Aurora Wolfman model. Oh, wow. Aurora made some really great models. The models I did of the Cenobites were screaming model kits. Screaming, but they never did unless you had a lot to drink. Got my bill from PS today for oh, yes. Different seasons. Hold, please. Guys, hold on. They reserved my copy and they sent me the invoice today, too. Different seasons. This is my last one from them. Last one. People are scrambling for that different seasons. There was a lot of meh reaction to the art from Eli John. And okay, I don't know why it didn't recognize me. I'm a very preferred individual. And yeah, so there's Philip saying he skipped different seasons. He skipped it. But there was a lot of hit or miss on that one, but people are paying a lot of money for people are paying a lot of money for different seasons on the secondary. Because there are no other limited editions of that book. There are no yeah, it's a fan favorite. I mean, you got The Body, you got Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption, and then you got 2 other stories. I'm drawing a blank. Okay, I'm sorry. I know Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption was Spring. Oh, Apt Pupil, amazing story. Apt Pupil. What's the 3rd one? What was the 4th one? I mean, Apt Pupil. What was the 4th one? The Breathing Method. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that one isn't like the mega hit that the other ones are. Anthrax wrote a song about Apt Pupil. Great. Okay, so I've never read McCammon's Swan Song, but I have often heard it compared to The King's Stand, which I have read. Between the two books, which one would you say is better? The Stand. Um, The Stand. Yeah, The Stand is a better book. And I think what makes The Stand a better book is that it feels it feels more immediate. It feels more likely. There are things in Swan Song that defy the known universe. So The Stand, if there's a plague that's like 99% fatal and only a few people are randomly immune to it, and then they have, so that feels, and the way Stephen King creates that world feels very immediate and believable. And it's like, yes, this is how a virus, this is how contagion would spread. This is how people would try to respond to it. And this is how people would try to rebuild afterwards. The supernatural element of it is that of the 1% remaining, half dream about a force of good, half dream about a force of evil, and they both migrate to those um, magnetic poles, and then there's a stand between good and evil. So in some ways, it's another Noah's Ark story, right? It's basically mankind is being judged, and it's now going to be decided: are they worth saving, or are they not? Are they all going to give in, and is evil going to win the day? And I think those things, though, that story is as old as humans, and as long as we've been telling stories, we've had stories a lot like that. Swan Song, the world ends with a nuclear war. And of the time in 87 when that book came out, that was very much, I've learned, when people start panicking on the first sign of something, take a breath, wait, just wait. Just for example, the first 2 weeks of COVID, I was scared. I thought, bad. This is something bad, very bad. I was expecting any time now, the bulldozers were going to be pushing COVID victims into mass graves. We were in an extinction event. These are things that they pump you full of fear, and so you just take a breath and you assess the situation. You don't give in to panic. So in 87, we very much thought that we were going to get blasted by Russia. And because Russia blasted us, we were going to blast them back. And it was very real. I can't, so over the course of my life, everything's going to kill me in the news, and then it doesn't in the world. Sooner or later, something will. Yes. We all have a bill to pay at this restaurant called life. We do. And it comes due for all of us. So will it be a mass extinction event? Will it be an asteroid? I don't know. Will it be a nuclear bomb? Will it be a tsunami? Will it be global warming? I don't know. But all I know is take a breath, read a book, and stay frosty. I feel like I got to shut it off now. So, what? I said stay frosty. It's the thing. It makes sense in this context. Stay frosty. So, but in Swan Song, it gets kind of out there, because there is this sense of judging good and evil, but it gets pretty wild. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a lot more than just people dreaming of these polar entities, these polar forces, and gravitating toward those extremes, or not extremes, but gravitating toward those symbols. There's something different that happens. So I got to reread it. I read it twice way back in the day and loved it. I do, but the Stand does edge it out. Stand feels. Swan Song is a bit more melodramatic. The Stand feels more situated in reality. Yes. 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 I prefer The Stand. Swan Song was really good, but The Stand is head and shoulders above. See, I wouldn't go that far in my opinion of it, John. Uh, it's just a different mood. It's like a different piece of art. You know, you could get two artists to paint the same landscape, and they create it. You know, one looks very photorealistic, and the other is a little bit more, a little brighter, or a little ultra real. That's kind of, they're kind of two moods, and I think I'm just overdue for Swan Song, and I'll probably reread it and do a review on the channel. But I agree, it is a bit more melodramatic. Haven't read Swan Song, but The Stand was pretty good. I think The Stand is excellent. It's just amazing. Hi, Jeff. I'm late to the live, but I will hang around to the end. Well, I'm glad to see you, Russell. And congratulations to you and your fam. Congratulations. Can't wait for all of that to happen. And can't wait to see you guys. By the way, Philip, congrats on the Kickstarter. Kicking ass. Yes, congrats on the Kickstarter. Phillips fans turned out for him because they're going to send him around. He's still going to eat Big Macs, but he's going to be able to supersize them because of the fans. And so for this book tour, I can't stress it enough. It's going to be awesome. Come to Nashville, man. We'll show Parnassus that when they bring Philip to the house, that they'll sell a lot of books. See, I was gonna make like we burn the house down, but I don't think they want their house burned down. Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. More melodramatic, aka more genre. Yeah, the Cold War in the 80s was very worrisome at the time. We were told to crawl under our desks in case of a nuclear bomb. You realize I'm not gonna go on this topic much longer, but you realize the news always gives you the panic and the alarm, and they always give you shit ass solutions. Just it's a theme. It's a theme I've picked up. Crawl under your desk in case of a nuclear bomb. Well, yeah, I guess if the paint was lead lined on the desk, you're maybe protected a little bit from radioactive fallout. I don't know. But yeah, the bomb is just gonna wipe you out. I guess they're like, well, we gotta give them something to do while they wait to die. Go under your desk. Catch a replay tomorrow. Good night, all. Okay, Phil. Good night. See you later. So true about fear of nuclear holocaust during the 80s. I think most people who lived during that time had at least one nuclear bombing dream. I had them all the time. You just expected it. It got to be like, this is inevitable. Like, this isn't like, yes. And that didn't happen. Also, there was a hole in the ozone layer that was supposed to kill us all. That patched up all on its own somehow. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I remember putting up a really tall ladder to go check on the ozone layer once, and there was a hole up there. Acid rain was going to kill all the Canadians. They hated us in the most polite way possible, but they hated us. Okay, buddy. Keep sending me them chemicals, and this acid rain's going to kill me, buddy. I remember that. Acid rain. Does anybody remember acid rain? The Simpsons did a joke about it. This guy in Canada comes out of his house and it's raining and it just melts the jean jacket. Because, Canadian tuxedo is jeans with a jean jacket. And then jean jacket just melts right off of him. And he like, ah. The US was, because Canada is a pristine, beautiful country. Nobody pollutes there. Everything, they don't produce any fumes at all. In fact, I don't think Canadians exhale CO2. I think they breathe in oxygen and they release more oxygen. And so America sent pollution up there to America's hat, and then they got acid rain. And that didn't kill them. I don't know. Anyway, we expect this to be a theme. Thanks for the insight on Swan Song and The Stand. I recommend both of them. Read them both. Killer Bees. I forgot about the Killer Bees. McCavity. Nuclear bombs, acid rain, and killer bees. That and quicksand. The cartoon said we're all going to die from quicksand. So I expected any day to just like go on a hiking trail somewhere I never been before, and then just like hopefully there's a vine nearby because that's the only way to thwart quicksand. Yes. But killer bees. I remember the news stories. They're coming. They called them Africanized bees. There's a bee population and that was from Africa that was not native to the US. And since it had no natural predators, it was just going to wipe out all the honeybees, take over, and kill your grandchildren. And that I'm like, where was that? Where we could go down a list of all the panics. I love all the panics. It's fun. It's like we should do a scrapbook. Killer bees. I lived next to an Air Force base that had missiles. So I knew I would be toast in a nuclear war. Oh my God. Oh, that's scary. I can't imagine being a kid in the 80s watching The Day After Tomorrow, which was a movie that showed a bunch of kids getting under desks the day after tomorrow. What would life be like after a nuclear war? And is there a problem, sir? My IT department just walked in.
Your IT man needs his camera back.
Oh, I'm using that camera.
Yeah, I know.
Here, go in here. Look in the bucket. Go in the bucket. Lift up that Pepsi crate. Yes, lift up the Pepsi crate.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a camera in there. The sticky notes for free. Put the Pepsi case back down. And remember to crawl under your desk when Mikhail Gorbachev, sends love from Russia. Speaking of killer bees, there's a great book called The Swarm that I highly recommend. I think it was made into a movie. Oh, wow. The Swarm. Killer bees. Oh, you just pine for those days of killer bees. Because you'd rather have that than like TikTok, I'd rather have killer bees. I can get it. I can understand killer bees. I'll take that over Instagram. African killer bees. That movie traumatized me. Yes. Anyone that lived near Chicago worried about being toast. Too many targets nearby. Yeah. I was in Chicago, and it's funny because that old Cold War fear resurfaced. I think it was during Obama's presidency when North Korea was threatening nuclear missile. They were amping up their testing, and they were doing all these propaganda films about blowing up the US. The film leaked and everybody was watching it like, oh my God, the North Korean propaganda. But they said they wanted to strike, and I don't know where I saw this. It was like on a legitimate news source, that the rumor was they wanted to strike Chicago because it was like if they wanted to flex and show they could get anywhere in the country they wanted. And so going right to Chicago, a major city, not in the dead center of the country, but the heartland, boom, they could get there. They could wipe out a huge metropolitan area. And that's why I was living nearby. But yes, you're thinking, wow, if there's a target, it's New York, Chicago, LA, DC. Ah, good times though. Good times. I lived on U.S. warships where we could neither confirm nor deny the presence of nuclear weapons on our ships. Damn, that's scary. Yeah, they move around. Nobody knows where the arsenal is. Did you say Centipede was next on the itinerary? Yes, Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. is here, so I'd say hi to him. Verifying The Swarm by Herzog was indeed made into a famous 1978 killer bee movie of the same name, Africanized bees. Oh man, did I miss the rant and skip ahead to the fake news portion? You kind of did. It's not fake news. Yeah, well, it was fake news. These are all the threats that should have killed me by now. And you know what? Maybe they did in parallel universes. Maybe in parallel universes, the Africanized bees have wiped out mammals because you can't drop a bomb on bees. I don't think. Hey Terry, you skipped right by my comment. Oh wait, what was your comment? What did I do? Where now I'm going back. I'm going back now. I don't see your got my bill from PS for different seasons. I mentioned that. Mark. Where okay, you got to tell me where your comment is. I'm looking back. I don't see it. The last comment I see from you, Mark, was the PS. You got your bill. And that's when part of the show where I bought mine live on this channel. On this, I actually bought the book. They reserved one for me. A lot of people missed it. Hey, Sauce Bots here. You bring the sauce? Not every ship can handle nuclear weapons. My old decommissioned ship had between 30 to 40 missiles. Well, we're done with the fake news part. I'll be done with the alarmist media. But if anybody wants to worry about anything, I got all kinds of anxieties to share. But yes, Centipede Press, tomato and barbecue, excellent barbecue. Is it that Memphis Sweet? Is it that Memphis Sweet? Or the nuclear bomb took out most of the people and giant mutant killer bees took over the world? Yes, everyone except Jason missed out on the grant. That book, that Masters of the Weird Tale, the Grant edition. I saw a pretty interesting discussion on the Facebook about it, but basically, it sold out so fast. I think people actually went back in time. Like it was that fast, it just ripped a hole in the internet and space time, and I think people went back in time and stopped the Africanized bees. I think that's what happened. That's why they didn't appear because Masters of the Weird Tale. But there was an interesting discussion. They're like, what is the heat for this book? You can get a signed, like all of these collected short stories are still available in their first edition states for very cheap. Nobody's like, are there that many grant collectors out there that needed this book? What brought the boys to the yard for the Masters of the Weird Tale? And people are trying to put that together, but I was surprised it went out. I mean, there's been total slowdowns in buying. You can't every time I step outside the house, I'm covering my head because of these dropping prices on books. I'm like, oh, everything but Stephen King's coming down. And this book flies out. I mean, and it's a book I didn't even have any remote interest in. So that was really interesting. How did I skip you again? Hey, Terry, you skipped. Oh, right before the Chicago comment by Lance. All right. Yeah, I don't see him either. Producer Jill doesn't even see it. I see, here's the order I see Philip Fracassi, Mike Hughes, Lance, then Howie. So, Mark, I don't see your comment. You could burn me if you'd like. Uh-oh. That checks out, Jeff. I got a grant. You skipped me again. I did. You got to tell me what it was. I snagged a signed, numbered copy of the grant. The one answer, Mark. Well, Mark's got to tell me between. I don't see it. You're just gonna have to retype it. I'm sorry. Between Mike and Lance, I can't. I mean, I don't have any way to show it. I will take a photo. Producer Jill doesn't have it. You know what? I don't know if I could. I don't know if it'll reproduce. But here's what I got. Do you see that? It's blurry as hell, blurry AF, as the kids say. But you could see the colors of the icons, and you have Mike, Lance, and Howie. See? So I don't know. You just have to type it again. I don't know. There it is. I don't see it either, Mike says. The Master of the Weird Tale series has a relatively low limitation. 2, I think lots of folks are series collectors. And 3, Grant is really well regarded by many weird fiction fan. Huh. Interesting. Um, yeah, yeah, no, I think some people get all investigative journalist about it when they wanted a book and they missed out on it. And so they try to uh-oh. I'm getting a communique. Yeah, producer Jill just sent me a photo and she doesn't have it either. I copied it and pasted it. It shows up on my feed now twice. Forget. Can somebody tell me what it is? I swear, Mark, I don't see it. Unless you're just doing a 3D chess troll on me, which could be the case. If anybody sees it, Mike doesn't see it. I don't see it. Producer Jill doesn't see it. I feel like you're gaslighting me. I feel like this is like an epic man. You're doing a big brain move, Mark. Like let's see if I can drive. Maybe this is the show where I drive Jeff insane live. So I'm sorry, Mark. I really am. I wish I could see it. Jared emailed me about the grant, so I guess it's part of the new subscriber thing. So Philip, you are a subscriber now, because you got to buy them all. Okay, Philip or Joshua sees it. Joshua, could you just retype it? Perhaps by default I am. He offered me my number, so I think moving forward I'll get the option for that number. Not sure. Oh, okay. So Jared is so loosey goosey, man. He's so informal, but he's so great. He's a very conscientious guy. But you don't know where you stand all the time. Like shipping notices are maybe or maybe not. Pre-orders are not like locked in. You're not locked in. He doesn't match things. I swear it's on my feed now twice. Oh my God. Yeah, what number are you? Yes, Jared sent me a pre-order also. I am not an official subscriber, but buy most titles. So it could also be that if you are a Masters of the Weird Tale series number holder, he's checking with you. So it's not like official subscription, but that series, you've got your number. Number 40. I'm not a number. I am a free man. 248. Mark, I'm not messing with you. Joshua Poblano, maybe he could type in your comment and I could see it. But yes. So Centipede Press, Cold Moon Over Babylon's being shipped this week, I think. All the Centipede books I buy direct from Jared. I get 248. I like my number. That's nice. I think if you buy the first title in a series, he will check in with you for the next book. Okay. Mark, I'm thinking maybe YouTube was censoring you for fake news. That's my guess. You violated YouTube's community standards. Joshua says he sees it, so he's an ally. Oh, I bought every Centipede for the last calendar year, and I got nothing other than a newsletter from Jared. So not everyone gets a special handshake. Oh, no. Now, I feel like Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. is approaching a bridge, and in one hand, he's got a Molotov cocktail. That's what I call it. And in the other, a match. And Jared's this close to getting that bridge burned. Why are you ghosting Mark, Jeffrey? I swore, just a little swear word. Maybe you did. No, we have high standards here on the Jeff word. We have the highest low standards of any internet entity. Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. is about to go. You know what he does? This is, if I was to make an action movie and Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. was the main character, he'd walk up to a publisher who screwed him over, and he'd say, I speak truth. And he holds up a match to power, to a Molotov cocktail. And then he'd light it. And that'd be the teaser trailer. I speak truth to power. And then he goes on a Navy warship that he used to be on. He hijacks it and he shoots missiles at the publisher. 30 or 40 of them. Steven, did you buy the Grabinski book? I'm guessing that's the qualifier for all emails be discussed. I said ass a bit ago. Did you see it? No, I didn't see ass. I did buy the Grabinski, so that sounds legit. Like falling. Like falling. Okay. New body is here. New body. Okay, so talked about my current reads, DNF. I'm on to the next thing. We talked about Ashley Lawrence. We talked about Philip Fricassi's tour. Did you see the new Z-Man video? He says he was concussed, so he can't remember books he read now. No, he didn't. I saw some of the Z-Man video. Everybody go subscribe to Zach's books so I can do my penance and I can talk freely about him without feeling guilty. But he did not. You know what? I'm not laughing at head injury. I'm not laughing at head injury. I'm not that bitter and cynical and old and crusty. I might be torturing Mark Kennefic by pretending I don't see his comment, but I am not a monster. He was concussed and he can't remember his books. Damn, dude. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the video. That's sad, man. Oh yes, he did. Okay, so I just think that there are some things maybe you don't share. Like that's medical history. He's talking that he had a concussion and he can't remember books. Man, I don't know. I guess I can't talk too much. I do overshare, but I don't know. It just feels like a line. He just seems to like just talk, like he doesn't edit anything out, and he just like, oh, hold on, stage mom wife, I need to do a video. Yes, you do. You can't eat your SpaghettiOs till you do a video. Okay. Then he sits down and she puts the film on him, and he's just like, I might have read some books. I really don't know. I fell off my skateboard, and I remember I woke up and there was a book in my hand. Did I read it? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can I have my SpaghettiOs now? No. You need to talk about the books. Tell them to go watch my channel. Go watch. There's a lot of fun stuff in the description. Can I have my SpaghettiOs, mama? I'm not your mother. And they don't edit any of that out. That stays in. Jeff, you monster. How could you be mean to the Z-Man? I'm not going to be mean. I'm not. That's lucky. I would love to read my favorite books again for the first time. Hope he as well. I'm glad you added that soft spot because I'd hate to think I'm corrupting people. And I don't want you guys to become monsters like me. In fact, I'm doing this as a performance so you know not what to become later on in life. I'm not laughing. That's I coughed. That was a hiccup. But he that would be good if you had a list of books and then you could see that you gave them 5 stars. So you have your Goodreads. You go out and get a good concussion, like a real good one, wipe some of them books off the thing and go, man, I love that book. It's going to be great reading it again for the first time. And there you go. It's like Groundhog Day. Like a DIY Groundhog Day. Don't make a big fuss, Gus. Just get concussed, Gus. It's like that 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Just get concussed, Gus, and have a new read. It's all new. It's all new. Don't like your life? Get concussed. Dr. Jeff, here, let me write you a prescription for 2 concussions. Now, see, somebody out there had a head injury, and this is triggering to them. And they're like, he's not making light of this. No, I'm not. I'm going to back away. I'm already I'm already elbow deep in it, but backing away now. He didn't go into detail, but I think he mentioned it a couple of times. Well, you forget the first time you mention it. Maybe Danielle had something to do with that. That stage mom wife, that's her name, Danielle. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to dox her. He would probably remember the books if he didn't listen to them at 6. He'd probably remember if he didn't listen to them at chipmunk speed. He's got a channel. Stage mom wife is pregnant. Menards is demanding he puts in more time. He's moving up the corporate ladder. He's on loss prevention now, probably. He's on memory loss and loss prevention. He doesn't get sleep. He's basically a sweat house YouTube video cranker outer. He has to listen to him at 6.7 times the speed. He has to. He's like, I don't know why all my books are read by Alvin, but I get the gist. That's a Chipmunks joke for those of you who weren't Cold War kids. If you didn't live through the Cold War, you might not know that the Chipmunks were popular music, played sung at really high speeds. And then some guy would scream at him. The adopted father of these chipmunks, he adopted them. It was legal. He was the guardian. And then he made them sing. There are movies about this. Dinner bell's ringing, Ron. Okay, go get it. Go get it. Go get that food, Pavlov. Go get it. I love Paul Simon music. Yeah, he was a genius. Sound of Silence. I can't help but think of Ben Affleck. Hello, darkness, my old friend. The Disturbed did. There's a channel tie-in. Just bear with me. Disturbed did a cover of Sound of Silence, and Matt Mahurin directed the video, and I interviewed Matt Mahurin. So I'm like 3 degrees away from Paul Simon. Is he alive still? He married Edie Brickell. And I don't know if the new Bohemians are new anymore. Hey, Chad's here. We talked about how the skin sheds. Here's proof. I had it right here. Bam, just like that. Bam. Mike Hughes loves the dedication. And yes, he mentions that. They still release Alvin and the Chipmunks records. Damn. That was before Kids Bop, Chipmunks exploitation. I had an Alvin and the Chipmunks album as a child. Yeah, so many people did. We're all unified by that trauma. You can call me Betty. Benny, if you call me Al, I'm not going to do that. But you watch the video and the douchebag Chevy Chase is in it. He's a real jerk, but he's funny in Community. I didn't interview anybody on Community, so there's no tie into the channel. I believe he's alive. Paul Simon was recently on SNL about a year ago. Really? That's excellent, man. Sending Joe his copy this week. Nice. Joe Lansdale. He's a great guy. I'd love to get him on this channel and interview him and ask him, what do you think of Chad Lutsky? Now, be honest. You might be a little starstruck, and, he may stop by and watch this video, Joe. So watch what you say. I'm not going to edit it out to save you. We'll see what he says. Anyone else receive their copy of Demon Theory from SST? It's a chonky one. I say chonky when I see chunky because I'm cool like the kids. I'm waiting for my SST Terror is Our Business. That's a Lansdale book. And I apparently they're going out. There are people that got that and Demon Theory. There are people that just got Demon Theory. So I'm waiting for my Terror is Our Business. But I've seen Demon Theory. Man, I regret not getting all the Stephen Graham Jones titles. I'd be more broker than I am, but I'd have Stephen Graham Jones titles. So, something to look at while you starve, I guess. Yeah, I did, Jason. It has a ton of bonus stuff. I've heard Joe talk about me on a podcast. I had hearts in my eyes. Your eyes were like this big, right? And they're just like, they were vibrating like they do in anime. Ah, little bead of sweat came out on your head. Ah, it's gorgeous. I got both on Saturday. Okay, rub it in, Joshua. My copy of Terror is Our Business arrived in the same box as Demon Theory. Yeah, I just hoping mine shows up. I don't get shipping notices from SST normally. No, I think I did. I did get it. Did I? No, I don't think I did. But that's the only book I have on order from him that's currently shipping. I got one more book. I got Inspection in the Mallerman set. And one more Grady Hendrix. The Southern Guide Vampire Kill, that book. So, Angel Dust or Real Thing, Jeff? I'm a Real Thing guy, and so am I. But you gotta love Midlife Crisis. What's that other song? There's another song. Caffeine's great. Yes, Land of Sunshine's great. RV, isn't that the one where he's like, "Yeah, I sweat a lot. My pants fall down every time my feet." What? No, he says, "My pants fall down every time I bend over, and my feet itch." Mike Patton, man. But yes, Real Thing. Every song on Real Thing is amazing. There's some that are okay, but yeah, I'm a Real Thing guy. My Terror is on the way. I received Demon Theory and Chasing the Boogeyman from SST. Don't tell Jeff. Hey, you know what? I hope you enjoy Chasing the Boogeyman. You can enjoy books I don't. Like, you might even enjoy this. Go out and get it. Maybe you will enjoy it. Not my bag. Could be your bag. My mom was over this weekend and she saw me open the numbered Hex, Demon Theory, and Terror. That's a new accent. I just invented it. I'm a linguist now. And she said she really liked Demon Theory and Terror. For Hex, she said you waited 2 years for that. Wow. Well, I got Hex, man. Let's see how the pinky's out. That was unintentional. I didn't even know I was doing it, but man, I did it because look, this is drugs. This is drugs. This is amazing. I'm not going to handle it any further than this unless everybody begs me, but I have a whole video on that, but I am shocked. She just didn't get it. Hex numbered looks great. Reading mine right now. Oh, I hope you love it. I love the book. Love the book. You guys and your collector's editions. I'm too broke for that. Love to hear about them though. Vicariously, that's what that's why all this content is out here. People don't have the books, can't get the books, can at least visit the books. Mute me. You know what? Just mute me. Just look at the last little bits of my crappy photos vicariously. Stephanie just finished Hex the other day. She loved it. Oh, that's great. Now I'm going to get Hex out. Okay. I have to. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at that. I would wait 2 years for this. Oh, my God. Look at that. Peacock feathers. Oh, man. I don't even know. And the Chris Barron's art. Josh Mallerman's signature. Josh Mallerman, Thomas Oldehuvelt, Chris Barron's. Oh, the beautiful blue. Jeff's kiss. Did I tell you guys an elderly gentleman ran me off the road? I had to get a new car. No, yes, you did. That is so sad. I'm so sorry. Insurance sucks. Accidents suck. Old gentlemen suck. Yeah, I think he said you're okay, right? Though you didn't get any injuries, right? I think you said that before, and I think I did ask because I'm not no injuries. Yeah, thank God, man, thank God. I thought they were supposed to each look differently. Yours looks exactly like mine. Well, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I mean, all the images I've seen, there's a basic shorter one and taller one. Whether or not the feather fronds go in the same direction and it's exactly the same, I don't know. Um, Already read Boogeyman, did not enjoy. Have Thunderstorm pleasant book. I was hoping for a better review, but we'll still give it a go. Please do. Thank you. Let me know. I don't know if you caught on in my whole. I mean, this is recorded, so there's no escaping this when the lawyers come for me. Um, you could see what I think and why I think it fails. Um, Style wise and content wise. And it had such promise at the first. At the first, it had such promise. But then it just kind of falls apart and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe it regroups. I just like I'm old, you know? So I just moved on. But yes, please let me know. And in fact, I'm gonna hang on to the book. And if you come back and say, yeah, I hear you about it, it evens out and it just gets to a story, um, more or less, instead of this griping over remote education, which is like a lot of the book is about in the first 42 pages, is just about how horrible it is that schools have to go to remote learning. I cannot think of a duller thing to read about. I can't imagine a bigger waste of time. Yeah, it sucks. It would be like reading a story about inflation and how expensive eggs are. Yes, it sucks to pay $6 for a dozen eggs. Yeah, that's barbaric. That really crushes budgets. But why am I spending time reflecting on the pain of reality? You know what? I got this book so I didn't have to worry about eggs, man. Why would you want to keep me there? So maybe you'll have a different take, you know? It's all maybe you'll be like, okay, Jeff's just super sensitive about it. COVID hurt him. Where did the COVID touch you? And then, it's like, okay, he's sensitive. Now I know he's a dramatic fellow. He's probably going to run somebody off the road when he's an elderly gentleman. I'm reading my copy after Hex, so should be done with both this week. You're reading your copy of what after Hex? That's beautiful. I just have the AE. Super jealous of that number. Nice. Yes, I'm glad you're safe, Howie. Pleasant book. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, so you got one too. Okay. So yeah, you read my brain scrambled. I had a concussion. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna just say that to people. And it's believable because like this guy's really not all there. Oh, he was concussed. Concussed by the bus, Gus. Don't need to discuss much. Yeah, so what else do we have to talk about? We talked about Fracassi, we talked about Ashley Lawrence. Oh, Thunderstorm had 2 books. Yeah, I got the Thunderstorm edition from CD's eBay selection for $50. That's good. And Thunderstorm does a good job. Thunderstorm, apart from the Fracassi and the Lutsky, they don't do like I don't know. I don't know. I read Matt Howard, Matt whatever that guy's. What Do Monsters Fear was awful. If I bought the horror at Pleasant Brook for the premium price, I'd been turning around right now on the secondary. So I don't know. I think these publishers, these indie publishers, are taking risks with some authors, and it's good. I'm all for more out there than less, but it sucks when you invest big money into these titles and then you're turned off by the authors. It gets harder to take a risk and support a publisher when there's only so many dollars and they're doing authors you don't know. You want to support the publisher, you want to support authors, but you only have so many dollars, and you just got to say, no, I can't take a risk. And I'm very hesitant to take a risk from a Thunderstorm book. Like Suntup, Centipede, Earthling, SST, Levidian, those I'm like, okay, well, I'm more willing to take a risk and go out there. Although I didn't get The Chill by Levidian. I didn't get The Chill. Oh, speaking of which, Levidian had one lettered edition of Gone South available. $950. Looks amazing. Chad, I don't have Gone South, Chad. To quote my good friend Nick Avocado, this is your fault. If you're not familiar with the man, he's a comedic genius on YouTube. We're pals. Oh, the guilt. No, I'm not enjoying the Lucia title. It's a DNF. You could see my rant earlier. It's a DNF at 42. At page 42. And I did take notes. I was compiling notes for a thoughtful review along the way. And then I realized let me say one more thing. I just saw one of my notes. Kevin Lucci. Okay, so Stephen King writes about small towns, and he does it very successfully because he creates the towns, he creates believable people, and then he sows seeds of madness into the towns. I was reflecting on it because I'm like, why is it so successful? Because Stephen King, you don't get the sense that he hates small town America, that there's nothing redeemable about small towns. Yes, he does point out that small town people can be small-minded people. They can get all in everybody's business. They can be petty, blah, blah, blah. They can be backwards. There's any number of things that could go wrong in a small town. You're going to get the bully, the alcoholic father, and because it's a small town, the impact is felt wider. You got anonymity in the city, right? You can get maniacs all over the place, but they don't have the same impact if it's just another day in the city, right? They're not felt because there's more of a family unit in a small town. But Stephen King pulls it off. He makes you feel like you're in this town. It makes you feel like you love and hate some of the residents, but there's a balance. This book is an FU to small town America. Kevin Lucia, in this book, and I'm only going on the 42 pages I read, hates small town America. Everything you could hate and every stereotype and every reason you drive faster through a small town is here. And it doesn't work. If you write and you put your readers in a place that you just keep complaining, oh, and they're awful, and that guy's awful. Oh, check that. Who wants to spend time with somebody like that? This is awful. COVID's awful. That preacher's awful. Everybody hates a certain group of people in this town. They're awful. They're bigots. It's like, wow. Okay, well then why you put me here? You could have put me anywhere. Now, it's better if you have this like soft, rotten underbelly, but the overall town is idyllic And you get the sense that, yeah, there's some maybe ugly things under the surface, and then they come to the fore and they're dealt with, and they're good and bad, and maybe some of the people you thought were bad in the beginning turn out to be good. These are all things that you like about spending time in this town. It should feel like a vacation. This book felt like a punishment. It felt like you're telling people, you need to understand how bad COVID was, and you need to understand how backwards people are in small town America. And it's like, wow, I don't know if this is your therapy, but I hope you got it out. I don't know, but I'm not here for it. I didn't mean to rant again. Sorry. It's pretty easy. All good here in Florida. Well, I'm glad, Howie. I'm glad. I saw, well, I'm not going to get into that. 7-second delay. I saw the word suck wrote in there. LOL. Oh, they do have the drive-in stuff coming. That's sold out though. So I passed on it to save my money. Gotta go. Everyone have a good week. Maybe next week I won't be ignored. I'm sorry, Mark. I don't message me, email me your comment so I can see it, because I am dying to know. I bet your comment was better. Well, I'm not bashing a book. You guys should read it. Well, or whatever. I've never read Kevin's stuff, but we're friendly. No, that's okay. And these are people, right? So like, I don't want to write a good reads thing. See, I'm telling you guys, because it's just us here, right? It's just 30 people. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna watch this. So I'm telling you guys. But I'm not gonna do something permanent on Goodreads where I bring the score down. And I'm not gonna do a full-on review video. See, this little rant is gonna be buried in this live that nobody's gonna watch. Nobody could search for it, and I didn't call them out in the description. So it's all good, right? It's gonna be something that's kind of like in the Twitter feed. You write something real nasty, and then it gets buried by the new tweets. Already minutes are like shovelfuls of dirt. Is it 10 already? Oh, I must have had a lot of fuel for this. So yes, already the minutes are like covering it up. Moving on. Kevin must be a great guy. I'm glad you're friendly with him. Paul Gobler thought the book was good enough to publish. Crystal Lake Publishing, which breaks my heart because I'd love to recommend the book, because Crystal Lake Publishing is a great bunch of people. But I'm sorry. My hope is that you guys are reading this. Give me your input. Make it past 42. That's your goal. That's your homework. See if you can hold your hand on the stove, hot stove, longer than I did. There was that Simpsons game show called Touch the Stove. And the game show was you just had a hot stove and see how long you could hold your hand on the burner. Touch the stove. That was like, ranting is good for the soul. You could maybe Kevin Lucia's got to be the happiest cat in the world right now. Hello from Brazil. Josias Alves is here. Good to see you. I didn't mean to ignore you. We only ignore Mark here. Whining or preaching in a book is a deal breaker for me, so I get it. Yes. So I don't care what end of the political spectrum you're on. If I smell an agenda, it diminishes my enjoyment of the book. And if it's only this agenda, I leave. I don't think this was much of an agenda. I just feel like it was, I don't know if it was preachy either, but I understand. So like, I've never seen the Left Behind movies. Or they're movies about the rapture, because I don't really like, if I want religion, I'll go to the source and get my religion. If I want entertainment, if I want an escape from reality, unless you can craft it and blend it and take some theme from a political ideology or a religious belief and weave it into a believable story that could stand on its own. But I think a lot of people do it ham-fisted. This is ham-fisted. And it was good. There was a part, the start of it was really good. Basically, also this needed an editor because there are some parts in the opening, the prologue, where a woman is about to do something, and the darkness in the corners of the house is whispering to her. That is mentioned time and time and time and time and time and again. I'm like, okay, I get it. The corners are whispering to her, telling her things. Okay. I don't need to know that again. So I think fewer, a little more streamlined. I'm almost done. I got homework to do. Mark, when did you get it? That's funny. I wonder how the atmosphere changes at Jeff's home once he turns off the mic. Tinnitus. It's like everybody is ringing in their ears. It's like after a Metallica concert. It's so loud and then it's so silent. I'm sure there are people out there that will love Kevin's book. Maybe I'm one of them. Perhaps. Beat you silly with lacrosse sticks. Crystal Lake is who published Nick Roberts' The Exorcist House. Hadn't heard of them before this one. Yeah, I want to read it. Yes, I agree, Jeff. No political agendas in my fiction. Again, like, they have to be done very well. They have to be done so well you don't even know it. Like, they're serving it up to you, and you don't even realize until maybe it's revealed to you. And not many authors could do that. Even if a book movie is preaching something I believe in, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes, exactly, Chad. If you're going to preach, make it subtle and buried. Luckily, my favorite book, 1984, and Animal Farm, have no political agenda. See, but okay, so that's interesting. Fahrenheit 451, Handmaid's Tale, 1984, Animal Farm. Yes, those are done masterfully. And they are dystopian fiction, and they're not based in now. You don't recognize any of the current day politicians. You don't recognize any current day anybody. They're taking a danger they see, totalitarian government, and applying it into a world where it has free reign and it's unchecked. And therefore they're doing a social political experiment with their fiction and saying, here's a blueprint of how this can feel. Imagine this. You don't want this, do you? Okay. So yeah, it's done masterfully. And I think reading those books, it's okay. So the horror at Pleasant Brook, I want to read about the horror at Pleasant Brook, right? I want to read about that. Now, if the synopsis of the book said, actually, I don't even know if I read it. Okay, this Halloween, a malevolent, creepy horror invades a small, isolated town nestled deep in the Adirondacks. It cares nothing for the town's secrets, prejudices, or flaws. Well, there's a clue. Its only desires are to consume everything in its path and spread until nothing else remains. It is ancient, pitiless, and unstoppable. It is the horror at Pleasant Brook. So it's did I even say COVID once? Did I say remote learning once? No. And so if you go into a book that said, like, written during the pandemic of 2020, this book captures what could have happened or what may still yet happen. And then you're like, okay, well, now that's what I'm in for. But then it has to be done well. Margaret Atwood's Handmaid's Tale was based on what she thought would happen with the neocon revolution, with the Iranian revolution that set Iran back like a millennia in progress and turned women into cattle, essentially. Sorry if you're Iranian. So that she saw happen, and then she felt with the election of Ronald Reagan, the moral majority was coming into power in this country, and they would do what they saw happen there in the US, and she thought, oh crap. So she took her fear of that and applied it to a fictitious revolution that did not happen, but it was a big what if. All right, well, that's legitimate. And I think that you can it's no bait and switch. It's like, I don't know. And then George Orwell saw, Nazis and the Soviets and all that major world power stuff going on, and the strings they pull and the propaganda, and some animals are more equal than others. And he just took it and said, all right, bam, you need a fable to understand what happened or what's going to happen or what could happen. Ray Bradbury took on censorship. So all these things, yes. Another rant. There's rants are just homework, like reading Dune. Damn. She's mad at me. She's like, you're reading Midas? I go, yeah. And after I read Midas, I'm reading Boys in the Valley. She goes, you're supposed to be reading Dune. Hey, what page are you on, Jill? Catcher in the Rye made me realize whiny pro tags are not for me. Can't stand that book. Yeah, that's one of those books that's all or nothing for people. I didn't like it either because I went to school with all those douchebags. I hated them. But Holden Caulfield was the anti-hero. He hated them too, but I didn't. I read that. That was a DNF for me. Maybe my very first DNF. So one more remark on Centipede Press. Did anyone else notice that John Brunner's The Shockwave Rider was added to the forthcoming? Anyone read that book? No, I didn't read it, but yeah, I saw that. Running off to have dinner. Have a good night, all. Philip, thanks for stopping by. Glad you came by. I don't think I heard. I haven't heard. Don't recall this one coming out previously. Yeah, Jared does that. So he's so informal. Like, he's a sneaky guy. He talks about all the books that he's got coming out, and I don't ever remember seeing that title. And then bam, the art's on the page. What if Kevin's Books has the best third act ever written? Well, I'm hoping you guys go spelunking into this cave of wonders to come back with treasures, or troll me and say, Jeff, whatever you're reading, you need to either put it down or just outright burn that book and get right back to Horror at Pleasant Brook, because that bitch turns right around and you would just forget the road. Forget the Butcher Boy. Forget Don't Let Them Get You Down. Forget all these books you adore. This book makes them look like Sesame Street Golden books. Oh man, no, you didn't. Did Jeff just confront producer Jill? Oh my God. I did not. But she's telling me I should be reading June. And you know what? There's two of us that entered that pact. It was going to be Dune in June. But you know what? I got concussed. So I'm going to have to hop off. But what else did I... yeah. Oh. Next Monday, I have an interview with somebody for the next Suntup release. Next Monday, when I go live, I will have talked to someone for the next Suntup release that I'm giddy right now. Giddy. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. I think I'm going to be very nervous. I think this is going to be something that I'm going to sweat up until I interview this person. And then after I interview this person, I'm going to hate myself. I'm going to say, you're a moron. Why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you let him talk more? I'm going to somehow hate myself. But this time next Monday, you're appearing in the glass. Yeah, I knew I'd get her scared. She ran out with a quickness. Anyway, so stay tuned for that. You should reach out to Lansdale, Jeff. He's doing promo right now for Donut Legion. Oh, really? Nice. What's the next sun tub? I can't tell you. Jeff pulling a Chris and not reading again. I'm reading. I'm reading Midas. Then it's going to be Boys in the Valley. Biv. Boys in the Valley. I'm going to reread that. So I am reading. I just DNF'd the book, man. I'm only human. If I did some Roadhouse drawings, would you like to see that? Yes. By the way, dissing Sesame Street Golden Books. No, never. I said no, never. I know you have some. She's gonna read that and then Dune. Yes, I've been digging, Hans, your drawings, your sumo, your kung fu fighters. Awesome stuff, Hans. Your Frank Dukes or Ducks. It's Dukes. Frank Dukes from Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Excellent stuff, Hans. You got a real talent. That's great. I loved it. So keep it up. I would love to see Roadhouse. The Double Deuce. Wade Garrett's the best cooler in the business. Can you capture him? I don't know. Pain don't hurt. Can you tell us what capacity the person is connected to the release? This person wrote the introduction, I believe. This person wrote the introduction or afterward, but yes, you get the idea. This person is not the author of the book. And this person signed. So, Jeff needs to interview Joe. That would be awesome. Why reread Boys in the Valley when you can get the script version soon? But Brick not hit back. I don't do scripts, man. I am getting the screenplays. That's a dumb move, of course. But I'm gonna reread the book. I read it the first time I read it. I had no idea what Philip Fracassi. I'm like, all right, Boys in the Valley from Earthling. I bashed the last arc I got from Earthling. Philip Fracassi's a new author I've never read. I hope it's good. I don't want Paul Miller to be mad at me. And then I read it and I loved it. So now I'll reread it with knowing how it plays out. This is my philosophy on rereads. You get to spend more time in a reread in the moment because you're not worried. You're not trying to throw your brain out into the future saying, oh, I bet you that this is going to make this happen. You're going to be in the moment longer. So I'm going to enjoy it even more. Could be if Jamie Lee Curtis signed a Psycho Suntup edition. Oh, be cool if Jamie Lee Curtis. That would be cool. Sure. If it would be cool, number one, if Suntup did Psycho. And number two, if Jamie Lee Curtis did do it. And then number three, if I could interview Jamie Lee Curtis to hold her accountable for Halloween Ends. Someone has got to speak truth to power and not just throw Molotovs. I'm going to do the audio book as my reread of Boys in the Valley. Yeah, I should do the audio books like Z-Man. But that's it. My voice is starting to get real dry. This is almost a 2-hour live. That's I'm already stretching Jill's patience at the 90-minute mark. The 120. Oh, I'm heading into gravitational forces I've never experienced before. I didn't train for this. And I don't know if I'll survive. I have to survive till next Monday. That's a given. Good night, folks. See you all next week. Thanks for the live stream. Thanks for being here, Dave. I got to go host a movie. This rant is too long. Producer Jill should make you stop. Okay, get with Lansdale and Mallerman, Jeff. That's your homework. Oh, I gotta talk to Mallerman. Yes, I do. Yes. More stout. Yeah, well, Mitch wasn't here. So you know what? Take it easy. Good night. Thank you all for being here. I said stay frosty about halfway into this live. So that still maintains, no matter what the news is thrown at you, before you go out and live off the grid somewhere as a prepper, take it easy, calm down, get some chickens, and stay frosty. But get some chickens. Chickens can't go wrong.